Welcome back to the Everybody Podcast. Today we have a special guest by the name of Alexis Marie Parrish. You want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a junior environmental science major
Mm-hmm.
from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, but I've lived there for like 11 years now.
Mm.
So,
As an environmental science, why is it so hot?
climate change.
Can you fix it?
Global
Can you do your
warming.
job?
Can I do my job?
Yes, I don't know what you guys do.
I mean, we're trying, but
Try hard.
it's gonna be hard because people don't listen.
Mm.
People don't,
So,
care enough.
if you were going to explain climate change to like a 5-year-old that had no idea, what would you tell them?
To a 5-year-old. I mean, I think the simplest way to explain it is that the different activities that humans do
Mm-hmm.
contribute to the world, and it kind of makes the world get like hotter or warmer than
Mhm.
it has been before,
Mm.
and then like of course pollution and all that stuff plays a factor too. It's yeah, it's a lot.
So, does doing the right thing ever make it reduce, or does it just help it go slower?
I think it might help it go slower because I don't know if it can like 100% be reduced,
Mm.
but I think if we modify certain things in the world, like we could probably decrease it.
Mm. What led you to environmental science? Like, let's go from back, like when you wanted to be a pop-up girl to now. I'm just assuming. Did you actually want to be a? Okay, I was just okay. I just.
That question. Were you
I
like
was
a,
like,
were you like a brat or Barbie?
mm. I I played with both, so
Mm.
that's hard to answer. I don't know which one I liked more though, because I played with both, but I had like a Bratz doll that was like this big that I
Wow.
would like carry around and play with. So, and I had like regular sized Barbies and stuff.
So it was Bratz.
Probably.
Yeah, it was definitely Bratz. All right, so give us the run through.
All right. So when I was younger, my interests changed a lot.
Mm.
Like I wanted to be a fashion designer, I wanted to be a teacher, police officer. I don't know. It changed around a lot. But
Mm.
then like when I got to high school, I kind of started narrowing it down more. So I knew I wanted to do something with like the environment and
Mhm.
sustainability.
Yeah.
And so in 2020, during COVID, I started sewing masks and like selling them. At first, I was sending them to like family members,
Mm-hmm.
but then I decided to make a business out of it. And I learned how to sew when I was like 10.
Oh.
So I was like, I might as well, like, I haven't used my sewing machine
Yeah.
in years, and like, I might as well be helpful to what's going on right now. So I did that for a while, like making masks using either like recycled fabric or sometimes I would like buy fabric that people liked with like sports teams or different decorations and stuff like that. And so when I started applying for college, at first I wanted to major in agribusiness.
What's
It's
that?
like agriculture and business put together.
Yeah.
And
That's so spontaneous.
So is that farming or agribusiness?
it's agribusiness. So I'm assuming that if I was to like major in that, it would have a combination of like agricultural and business courses.
Mm.
And I wanted to go to Tuskegee at first because they actually had that. It's a major. Oh, wow. Oh my god. No, both my parents went to Tuskegee.
Oh, respectfully.
Yeah. He said respectfully.
But they weren't trying to give me like scholarships.
Oh.
And Tuskegee is so expensive. It's a private school.
Yeah.
So A&M came around, gave me a full ride, and I was like, okay, well I can major in environmental science
Yeah.
because my mom actually was like, well why don't you like go to school majoring in something centered around agriculture and then combine that with like making clothing. So making organic clothing is kind of like where that came from and how I got to my major. So my mom gave me that idea, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool."
Mm.
So I've been like riding along with it ever since.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
So do you still like sew masks or like do you still sew in general and sell them?
I haven't in a while. And actually, like with my business, I still have it, but
Mhm.
since things have kind of like shifted gears,
Mm.
I've switched over to like t-shirt design,
Mm.
and so I've been designing like shirts and hoodies.
If you want to check that out,
Yeah.
where can I find that?
AlexisMarieDesigns.com. Yeah, I have a
Okay.
website. I also have an Instagram page,
Okay.
which is Alexis Marie Designs one, like the number one.
Ah.
And
Okay.
yeah,
So do you at some point in the future do you plan on doing like sustainable fashion? Is that like the long term goal? 'Cause
yeah.
that's something that's like that is buzzing me.
That's definitely the long term goal. I kind of hope to take the business I have now and like transition it over
Ah.
once I figure out exactly how I want to go about doing that.
Mm.
Oh.
So sustainable fashion though, same way 5-year-old. How would you tell them that? Like, why did it's like clothes is clothes?
Yeah. I mean, the simplest way to explain that would be like making clothing without adding bad things to it or like, chemicals to it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, explain it to a 5-year-old. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't know what, like, polyester and stuff
Yeah.
is. But, like, clothing like that is, like, added chemicals to it, which makes it have that type of feeling.
Yeah.
And so, like, there are organic clothing businesses out there that, like, use other natural resources to make different things.
Mm.
And so, I want to do that, but I also want to make it more affordable. Because it's very expensive.
Exactly. I was gonna get to that point. Because
Wow.
if you think about it,
This is gonna be an interesting podcast. But keep going.
if you think about it, we're college students. You come to me and say, "Oh, do sustainable fashion, do the right thing." But I'm broke, and then you have Shein over here, which is like dead cheap, and you have like sustainable fashion, which is for like expensive as well.
So expensive.
I might the villain then.
What's the last part?
So I might the villain. I might villain.
Villain?
Yeah, villain. For
Oh,
going
are you
fashion.
the villain?
Yeah.
No. I mean, places like Shein are like what they call fast fashion.
Yeah.
And then they're also more affordable. But people don't really think as much about like how they're made and like what's in the clothes because it's it's easy to get and it's affordable. But I hope to educate people about it, but also make it accessible to them and affordable so that it's not like, oh, you're telling me about this and
Yeah.
how you want me to change,
Exactly.
but I can't afford it.
Mm.
So that's why I was thinking maybe I might have 2 separate clothing brands,
Huh?
like one more high end and then another one that could
For broke people.
could be more affordable, but like the business still has to be able to like profit
Yeah,
and all
definitely.
that stuff. So I have to kind of like think more into that about how I can do that. But I definitely number one also want to tell people about it and like what it is because a lot of people when I tell them what I want to do they're like, what is that? Like, organic clothes? What are you using, like vegetables? Like I'm like, no, that's not how that works. But so.
That killed.
Nah, I've seen some stuff that they use like seaweed, like excess seaweed to like make shoes or something like that, or like plastic. I'm like, I just saw it was this like pineapple, like clothes.
Mhm.
I was like,
Wow.
I just see some random shit. I'm like, oh, people are doing crazy things.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell the difference?
I couldn't. After I saw the end product, I couldn't tell the difference. It's just the process of like getting like the waste and then like cleaning it up and everything. But I don't know. I think they use like the fiber thread or whatever, because most food have like fiber or whatever. So they do some stuff to it to like make it like fiber. I'm not a scientist or whatever. So
Yeah.
and then they not like use it instead of like the other stuff.
Mm. So you wanted to be 12. What happened? That's-
That was a very short-lived dream. Like, I think I had that thought for a small amount of time. when I was a
how did the
kid.
thought come about?
I honestly have no idea. I don't know. I think even from a young age, I always knew that I wanted to be like helpful or help
Mhm.
people. So that was my thought because I even at one point considered being like a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I couldn't even tell you the exact reason why I wanted to do that.
What about teaching though?
Well, probably because there's a lot of teachers in my family. My
Oh.
mom, my grandma, and grandpa, they're both teachers.
Yeah.
So I was surrounded by it. So that's probably where that came from.
Would you still do it now?
Um, maybe I'm not really sure. My mom still seems to think that I might end up being a teacher.
Why?
But
Why
I'm
does she
like-
think that?
I don't know about that, but we never know.
Why does she think that?
I guess she feels like it's just in my blood, in my.
It's in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's why.
All right, let's take a recess. Unless, how did we get there?
Um, I always liked designing stuff. Like my mom or my parents would give me this like design book.
Yeah.
You could like draw different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I think as I got older, I kind of like got away from it, but then I got back to it.
Yeah.
I guess with like learning how to sew, and then like starting back with designing clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess I feel like I've always been kind of like artistic and just like wanting to try a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mentioned that. I read a story on like a podcast that the gifts you give like a child kind of determine their profession or like their passion.
Really?
Yeah, because like a lot of people when you give them gifts when they're young, they're like, oh, you know, they're just playing with it. If you give someone like a soccer ball, now more than likely they probably want to be a soccer player at some point in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you give someone like, you know, stethoscope, more than likely they want to be in the healthcare space. Or if you give like a young person a computer to play around with, more than likely they want to do something in that sort of space. And if you read back like to like other sectors like
I'd be under a rock.
I was just like-
I live under a rock. I
if
don't know.
they, you know, if they, anyways, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we can keep going.
No, it's like if you think about it, now the whole Zion and the whole porn star thing, yeah.
Yeah.
If they like actually believed that lady, Zion's whole career is fucked. But now that okay, everyone knows that wait, this woman is actually tripping. Now the guy is like, you know, going on with his life. But if they believed him, it's messed up. There's another football player, I think it was Mendy.
Mhm.
I think he was accused for like countless rape charges.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not guilty for everything, and he lost like millions of dollars because of that. He didn't play for like 2 or 3 years. He
Mhm.
lost a Premier League title. He lost like money he had made. He lost like World Cup. Like it was a World Cup player.
Yeah.
And just because of that, lost his money. This is kind of like, I think before people start like, you know, pulling plugs, you should
Yeah.
actually say that not guilty. But I still understand like, you know, the climate fine.
I
That's
mean,
just my soapbox.
it depends. I mean, there's really no black and white way to see it because, say for instance, we brought somebody on the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe that was the person responsible for the shooting on campus.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if we find out that, like, it comes out that that's the person responsible, now people are like, oh, look at LX3, they're supporting shooting on campus. You will want to take it down as fast as possible. You wouldn't want to be like, well, they haven't found if it was really, really him. So he's still here. No. So that's how organizations are thinking, because now somebody pull up their thing and be like, oh, so you were here allowing sexual allegations fly through this, that, and the third. That's how they think. I think it started off with that smoke.
Yeah.
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started. Hey, but we're waiting on the talent. So
Yeah, exactly.
we could wrap it up.
What if I just make up a poem?
Alright, on the spot freestyle.
It's gonna be bad.
Do it.
Mm.
I won't laugh.
Okay. Roses are red.
Oh.
But
Oh.
you said, I didn't even get past 2 words.
Because I already know it's going to be cliche.
Roses are red, violets are white.
What if I said violets are green?
Keep it going, but they're not.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Roses are red, violets are green.
Let's build a time machine.
What a talent!
Yeah.
You know what? I want to sign to my label.
Okay.
Electric Records, fresh off the boat. You're gonna be our first client. But you're top notch talent. Try again, bro.
Again?
Spin the blood.
That's fine. That's fine.
I literally have like no juices right now to come up with anything.
All right, so we've come to the last section of the podcast where we usually ask the crew, the guest, to recommend a creative, and then after that, you can tell us where we can find you.
Okay. Well, I guess I can mention myself again.
Yeah.
My business page is on Instagram, Alexis Marie Designs 1 all together,
Yeah.
and my website is alexismariedesigns.com. Some pretty cool merch on there.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodies, shirts, sweatshirts,
Yeah.
you name it, it's on there. And it also like relates to our culture and like has different sayings and stuff. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. Y'all should check it out.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
Again?
Where can we find you?
Oh, you mean like the website?
Your personal.
Your
Oh, my personal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My personal page is A_. It's Alexis, but that's AYE
Mm.
_. It's Alexis altogether.
Okay. Well, thank you, Alexis, for showing up. It's been one for the
Interesting.
book. Definitely been one for the books. We've been through a lot. We are never gonna forget this. But hey, once again, I remain Camsy. You can find me at the Camsy.
And Olashibumi, you can find me at Olashibumi Olagbo.
Until next time.
Sayonara.